around for a little bit and try and get stuff posted. So I figured I'd keep it entertaining in here. Joseph, what's going on?
Hello, man. How you doing?
Good, man. I'm good. For those of you guys that may not know, this is Joseph Gallegos. He is a hustler. Like, that's the best way I can describe Joseph.
How is it that you don't know him? That's the question.
That's the truth. If you don't know Joseph, you ain't paying attention. Joseph kind of ended up on our radar last year, towards the end of the year. He was just somebody that was super helpful in the groups. He was always asking questions, always trying to help out, help people out whenever they had a question, whatever. And we kind of took him under our wing over the last year, and Joseph is crushing it right now. Super, super proud of what you've done in the last year, because between raising your family and taking care of the kids and just all the other things you have going on, like, you are proof that there's no excuses. Like, if you're willing to work hard and find extra 5 minutes in your day to just post some stuff, you can have success.
100%, man. 100%. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, we've been real excited about this. We've been talking about this for a minute.
Yeah, we've been trying to get him on for we should have had him on about 3 months ago. We've been kind of just slacking a little bit because he's
we tried to get Joseph on last month too, but Joseph wanted to wait until December. He was concentrating on getting through Q4 and making sure everything was taken care of.
Yeah, 100%. And thankfully, I didn't know how it would turn out based on last Q4, but it was worth the wait. So
right, yeah, it's been good.
Very happy.
So I'm posting this in the groups, guys. Got everybody on. Everybody that's hopping on right now, please give this video a thumbs up and share it, please. Appreciate that.
Or a thumbs down. Like, I know there's a couple of haters in the chat. Probably they're gonna leave us some thumbs down. So you do that. That's okay.
Yeah.
RJ, I heard you're leading a cult.
Yeah, got that. I got the cult going. Now, yeah. So let's get into we just want to. We get off the last 7 days and start there. Yeah. Let's do the last 7 days. I'll start it off first. I'm at last 7 days. I turned off that ching noise. Getting tired of that thing. It was kind of like a distraction to me now. Throwing off my focus a little bit. So last 7 days, 659 sales at $2,050 in royalties.
My last 7 is 604 for 2102.37, and then another. I think I tallied it up right before we got on. It was another 230 sales on Etsy for another 2,500 in profit there. So it's been a real nice week.
Dope. Let's see. Last 7, I'm at 458 for $2,402.60.
Joseph believes in charging a premium price for a premium product.
Yeah. Sacrifice dog.
Seems like a match trying to drop a course. You see how he all of a sudden just wants to mention the Etsy sales. All of a sudden they're doing good, huh?
And shit, but I just want to let people know that there's multiple levels to the game.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Okay. All right, Joseph, you want to just go ahead and give the audience a little bit of background on you. Everybody, share this video. Let's get some more people on here. Joseph's going to drop the bombs right now, and we're going to get into details about how he finds new niches, less competition and stuff like that, because I know he's the man at doing that. He sends me stuff that I overlook, and I'm just like, man, how come I didn't catch that? So that's something right there that a lot of people don't understand. Less competition is very important when it comes to taking over new niches. So
so just a little background. Let's see. I've been doing merch since about September 2017, roughly. When was the eclipse? Was that in September?
That was August 21st.
Okay, so
that should be tattooed on my soul.
Didn't you make 2 sales yesterday off from that?
I did. I sold a couple of Eclipse shirts yesterday.
That's dope. So I actually got approved right before then. So I actually had my account probably mid-August, and then I didn't get my first designs up till right after the eclipse had ended. So I missed that whole wave. Got some stuff up. Thought I knew what I was doing. Came in, wide-eyed. Thought I was gonna make a lot of sales, right off the bat, and threw a bunch of stuff up. And like a lot of people experience, don't always go that way. So you have some ideas, and you think, oh, this will sell, and you learn pretty quickly that they don't. So it was a slow start. I came in right before Q4. Was hoping to take advantage of the Q4 sales. Let's see, the first month I think I only did, I did under $100. Second month I actually had I had hit on the I don't kneel, so like I got it pretty much like that first night, but I think I was only at two submissions if I remember correctly, and they were like because it was like a tier 25 something like that, and so I was able to get a couple in on those, but they were like it was manually reviewed, so like I put them in and they didn't go live till the next day, so I made a little bit of money the second month, and then going into for November and December, that's when things went crazy. I think I had about 100 designs up, and because merch was basically hiding any listing that had made a sale before, so basically, at least in my experience, it was only leaving listings up that had not yet made a sale. I had a total of 9 shirts going into November and then through December, so I had a really bad November and December. I think I sold like 20 shirts in December. So starting January this year, pretty much had to start over. It was essentially like having a new account. So I think I've told these guys pretty 99% of the success I've had this year has been shirts that I uploaded this year. And that's basically it. So from January, I just grinded every month. It's been a nice, slow, gradual. If you look at my month to month, it goes up every month, but it's slow. I mean, it literally curves like this, and then the last couple months, it seemed to go off. So
for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of the background right there.
What tier are you at right now?
4,000. Should be eligible for 6,000 probably by the end of this month. So
nice. Okay. Joseph is the person that I always like when people talk that merch is too hard or merch is, I can't do it or I don't have enough time or whatever, right? Like Joseph is the answer to all those excuses, because it doesn't matter what time of day that I come on or what time of night that I come on to our little Slack mastermind channel, like Joseph's around. Like literally anytime he has some free time, he's working on his account.
Yeah, 100%, man. Kind of went all in like at the top of the year. I quit my job. It's almost been 2 years now. The first year I was getting into FBA. I was doing some eBay selling. And then at the top of this year, I just decided to go all in and pretty much stay at home dad. My girl works. So if I'm not doing something with the family or the kids, I've been working merch pretty much from sun up to sundown. So
yeah. With that saying right there, you're gonna get a lot of people that are going to respect you a lot just for you saying that right there, because it's a big thing. A lot of people don't understand. Like this is not easy. It's anything like this it takes work and understanding and focus and stuff like that. And if you can get distracted very easily. But with you seem like to balance everything. And that's what a really important thing too, is balancing between like your life and with the business too. So
100%, man.
So one of the ways you found this too as well, because I think you and Matt started at the same time. You were listening to Reezy's show, correct?
Yeah, actually. So yeah, the way it started, man, is like 100% shout out to Reezy, shout out to RJ. Like if not for you two guys, like I actually have a little story on that. At that time, I was just getting into FBA, and I'd actually just dropped my girl off at work. I was driving home. The kids acting crazy in the car, and I was listening to the Reezy podcast through the stereo or whatever, and he happened to have you on, RJ, and it was I think Matt was actually listening to this one too, if I remember correctly. But you came on, you talked about I think it was like your Cinco de Mayo sales or something like that. But essentially everything you were saying, man, a light bulb went off, and I was like, this is it right here. So I literally pulled over, and on my phone, I submitted the request for the merch account, like on the spot. I heard about it, and 5 minutes later pulled over, submitted my request, and here we are. So
yeah, and another thing too. So the only thing that's ever changed from that time when I was on that podcast too, that kind of created and jump started all this. They accept returns now. That's the only difference, and there's a little bit more there's more competition for sure. But just the knowledge that we have gained all together and just growing this community, that's another thing that's changed too. It's just like we're like 4 times as strong now, and just I don't know, just creating that foundation. Now we have it, and now we're just building together. and that's kind of hard to find, I want to say.
Yeah, really the community is really, really important. It's really special here in merch. It's something that I think we all value a lot, because a lot of our success is based on meeting random people that are in different parts of the country that, you know, you suddenly develop these relationships with, and friendship, everything else. Like, you know, I mean, we all leveled up together, kind of, you know what I mean? Like, and here's the thing too, that I point out to people a lot of times too, right? Like, people worry too much about what tier somebody is. Like Joseph, kind of, we kind of adopted him and brought him into our little Slack group pretty early on. Like, I think you were probably tier 100 or maybe tier 500. And immediately, like, I started learning from Joseph too, because he wasn't afraid to like go out and try things and test things and talk about like, hey, this is working for me, you guys should try this. You never know what you can learn from somebody. Like, it's really important to have other people in the trenches with you that are doing the same thing, that you can bounce those ideas off and trust, and know that like you can share ideas with them. It's not going to come back and bite you in the ass.
Oh, yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, the group's been super dope for me, man. Like, I've been blessed. I mean, I've been blessed just to be a part of it. So, yeah, I mean, community. Anytime that you could get a couple of like-minded people together and bounce ideas off and stuff like that, I mean, that shit is super valuable, most definitely.
All right, so what do you now, are you doing the designing yourself? How are you doing this? You outsourcing it, or what are you doing?
Yeah, so I mean, early on, I did all the designs by myself. I was doing everything from my phone, pretty much right through around tier 500, right before I tiered up to tier 1000. Everything was from my phone. I didn't have a laptop yet, nothing like that. Upgraded to the laptop, and then since then, I've done maybe 95% of the stuff on my laptop now. I have outsourced under 100 designs, so I have 2,500 live right now, and I think literally like 125 designs that I've outsourced. So basically, pretty much everything. Yeah. So pretty much doing everything myself right now. I mean, the plan for 2019 is to try to bring in somebody full time. Yeah. But yeah, right now pretty much been doing everything. So.
Okay, so with that right there, so from what, tier 10 to tier 1000, you are on your cell phone, right? Yeah. What were you using, and then so you saved up your money from your merch to actually buy a laptop, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into that a little bit more right there. I think a lot of people don't understand that process right there, that mindset of growing and doing what you can, like working with what you have and making the best out of it to help you grow to that next level. Like that right there.
Yeah,
that's incredible, man. That's badass.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So yeah, early on it was just me and the cell phone. Like I said, I was using Pixel Lab, which is a free app. I'm on Android, so Over wasn't available at the time, so it was just like using Pixel Lab, and there was another one that I was using. Early on, even like the first app that I used, you had to create your design, and then you had to actually run it through a resizer to get it the correct dimensions. And early on, it was like stretching my designs out like long, like my shit looked horrible. But you know, I just kept at it. Again, it was a slow build. It was slow growth early on. And then eventually got enough money for the laptop, got the laptop, and then things started to take off a little bit more from there because the quality got better. And then I'm learning this whole time too. So like I'm getting better design wise. That's pretty much it. And then you know, I outsourced a couple of things with some of the earnings. Those have done pretty decently. Actually, I shout out to my designer too, Adam Gubala. He's pretty well known in the community.
Yeah, no, he is cool.
But yeah, other than that, yeah. So then that was pretty much it. And then
I think that the thing that Joseph's embraced more than anything though is the research process. Like that's your secret weapon. He is like a total ninja out there, constantly like looking for those little niches that nobody else is in, that he can get in there first and have a couple of shirts and just own the top of the search results. Which is why like your pricing is what it is, right? Like people should notice, like me and RJ are both about 600 shirts a week sold right now, and you're 200 shirts less than us, and your royalties are $400 more than ours, right? So the reason you're able to do that is because you're competing in niches that aren't as competitive.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I will say that I do actually employ the same strategy that you guys do. At least I did up until Q4 started. So I'm one of the 1287, listing at 1287, and then depending on demand, niche, saturation, stuff like that, I'll start moving stuff up. Sometimes I'll start moving it on the first sale. Other times I'll let it rock for like 5 or 10 sales, then start moving it up. So I did that all year. I kind of sacrificed just to get listings embedded nicely in the search results. So I did that, and then when Q4 started, I said, all right, I sacrificed on the front end to make money on the back end. So then I cranked the price up, and then I've been all in on Q4. I've pretty much everything's right around $19.99 on standards. I have some stuff that's actually between 20, and even I have one shirt that's as high as $29.99. And then hoodies and sweatshirts I've been doing well. I'm like 35, 36 on sweatshirts, and most of my hoodies are like $45, $46. So again, yeah, definitely. And then like you're saying, the niches too. When you get into niches where there's not a lot of saturation, you pretty much can do what you want. The one shirt that I have at $29.99, I'm literally the only person in that niche right now, and it's a hot niche. It's a hot word in a niche, and so you could kind of command whatever price you want. So
right, yeah, exactly. I like what you talked about right there, right? And this is something I think a lot of people struggle with, like because they get attached to their designs and they think that like they have their worth is tied up in the price that they price their designs at. And what you talked about is exactly what we preach. It's like this is a business, right? So there's nothing wrong with sacrificing and not making as much money on the front end to make sure that your shirt sticks, your shirt ends up on the front page, your shirt's ranking really well for the time when you're going to make 40% of your money throughout the year. That's called good business. That's smart. I don't think people think about that stuff enough, right? Like you don't think about the strategy in terms of like where you should price things. And it's really important when you're thinking long-term. Like, don't think about one sale. Think about how you're going to make 200 sales on the shirt and how you're going to make more money over time on the shirt.
Exactly. Yeah, no, 100%, man. That's exactly my thinking right there. So, yep.
No, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I haven't sold a shirt at $29.99. So I think the highest shirt I sold was like $24.99, just messing around with it. But it's crazy. With the research part, I know that we all have a lot of me and Matt have a lot of fun with that, and I know that you have a lot of fun with that. I can picture you when you find like a new niche and you find something and no one's there. I can just see you just getting happy because every time you send me a message, you're always just bringing that vibe like, hey, check this out, man. Check this out. And you get excited. I do the same exact thing. When I find something, I was like, oh, damn, there's like a demand for this and no one's in here. Like, what do I do? So what's the research? Like, where do you do your research at? Like, what's the main platform that you do your research on? Like, what do you use?
So yeah, I mean, I do a couple of things. I use Merch Informer. Pretty much use that since day one. I've kind of evolved how I use it. Early on I was doing a lot of what Matt was doing, or he had told me early on, where he would just kind of go through the top, 100, 200 shirts every day and kind of look for patterns. So for first few months I was doing that, just trying to see what niches were hot, which ones were kind of coming into play. Now I still use it. I use it a little bit differently, but more than anything, whether I use Merch Informer or not, I'm constantly just using Amazon, just going straight to the website and using the the search bar on Amazon. I also use the merch research. Web
plugin
page. Yeah, exactly. So I use that a lot. I think RJ, you had spoke about this in a recent video, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
A real simple technique is like literally just go and hit and search without putting any keyword in, and then you could filter by newest arrivals or whatever it is, and that'll give you. I mean, that gives you new shirts that are selling, and then you could kind of dive into those as you go down. You find something that's interesting, take that, search, see what's out there for that. And then see if there's saturation, see what it's all about. So there's different ways of going about it, but primarily Amazon, and then Google, Etsy, Redbubble. I even go to Gap, any of the big commercial I'm trying to think of some of the other ones, but just any, I'll go just to see what's hot, like what, what Gap's doing, what's the other one that I go to? Can't think of the name now, but just any of the, the big box colors and stuff, and just try to find patterns. Not so much like going to take a design from what they're doing, but just seeing if there's anything like what's hot, like seeing if there's an animal, seeing if there's a color, seeing if there's a particular anything that
and that's what, we talk about research, and I think everybody gets stuck on the idea that like research means go to Amazon, find the shirt that has a low BSR, and then make a version of that shirt, right? Like that's not research. Like, yeah, you're identifying like where people are buying things, but that's not research. Research is all the stuff that you're talking about, where like you get into it, like figure out why is this thing selling, see what the colors are, see what the animals are, see what the patterns are, see what the layouts are. You know what I mean? And then don't just stick on Amazon, right? Like the e-commerce is huge. The market is huge. Like get out and look at other things, get on other platforms. Like we use Etsy a lot for the research that we do because nobody knows how to find things on there. And just, you get out there and look and try and find things before they get popular on Amazon. And then you kind of get in front of the wave.
100%.
For sure, like see with the research part, a lot of people like think it's like some magic. I don't know. It's just, you just got to come up with ideas on your own to be creative. And I think with Matt has a shirt right now that's going crazy on merch by Amazon, and you really haven't even messed around with merch by Amazon that much, huh?
I haven't. I've uploaded 8 shirts. I was looking at it. I've uploaded 8 shirts since like middle of October. That's it. Like it's just,
that's crazy.
The work was put in already. You know what I mean? Like it's just, all I do now is I mess around with prices, and when I see like a shirt starting to like sell a little bit more or whatever, like I might adjust the price a little bit. I'm also kind of playing the long game too. Like when you were talking about the long game, I thought about doing the same thing you did, because we did that last year. We raised our prices going into Q4. It was really nice to make those fat royalties, but with what happened on Cyber Monday, where a lot of my catalog got de-indexed because of there were older shirts with reviews, I kind of dropped a lot of pricing on this stuff because I need to get it to start selling again. Like I need those reviews to actually count when this season comes around or when that shirt's supposed to start selling. So that's where I'm at right now. Like I'm taking Q4, and while I'm making money on it, it's doing well. Like I want to make sure that my shirts are selling well to start the beginning of next year, to make sure they're ranking there too.
Yeah, for sure. Like a lot of my shirts, they're not even ranking like how they used to because of that. Like probably like 3,000 designs that are not even ranking no more. So I probably have to go back in and drop all those prices, because my numbers should be higher than what they are. I have 9,000 live designs. Like they should be way higher.
I had the #1 Pride shirt this year that was from 2 years ago. We made it, and it's not selling at all right now, and it's bothering me a lot because that shirt made us a lot of money earlier this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is what it is, right? Like it's an opportunity now. It's a chance to go make some more stuff.
Exactly.
For sure. That's another thing too. Someone left a comment on my YouTube channel talking about do I let the same designs? Do I remake the same designs that I have now? Kind of like just like when you go, like Mardi Gras was the example, and you just kind of just go in and you want to outdo yourself, man. Like you want to be better than which Joseph wants to beat Joseph, and Matt wants to beat Matt, and I want to beat RJ. Like, you know what I mean? I want to beat myself and be better than what I was last year. So that's something that you guys can think about right there. Okay, so Joseph, do you have more text-based designs, or do you have a mix of both, or how are you doing that? Like, what is it looking like?
Let's see. So any more?
What's that $29.99 shirt at? What is that? Is it text-based, or what is it?
Honestly, it's one word. It's one word. It's a one-word text-based shirt. There's no graphics, nothing like that. But as far as the rest of my catalog, I mean, I obviously started with a lot of text-heavy stuff because I was just doing stuff on my phone. I know long-term, with competition and et cetera, it's better to have stuff that's going to stand out. So like when like I said, I have outsourced some stuff, and it's been nice stuff. It's been all illustration stuff like that. Me personally, when I'm designing anymore, I'm doing, for the most part, I try to do text with a graphic. And as I'm getting better, it's looking better. So, but I will still do just some straight text. I have a couple that I actually just put up maybe a couple of weeks ago that are literally just text-based, and like one of them's taken off. Like it's crazy. I think I sold maybe like 30 in the past week and a half, and I just put it up. So yeah, I mean, it's sorry about that. But yeah, it's ultimate. It's a lot. It's both. It's text with a little bit of graphic, but going forward, I'm gonna try to get more into the more graphics, more illustrations, stuff like that.
Yeah. So basically, right now you see it as like you're looking at it as a long-term play, and you're getting them like the custom like on next level designs and putting them up because you know it's gonna make sales for you long term. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're doing because I know Adam. I see Adam's designs and they're creative, they're detailed, like so much detail on them. Those are the ones that you're purchasing, correct?
Yeah, like this. I don't know if you can see it here. This is one right here. This is more like I have it up, but it was more just for me. It's like I don't know if you can see it very good, but it's just like Aztec,
yeah,
Sunday, whatever. But yeah, he's crazy, man. Like he does all kinds of stuff. Like depending on what you want, he'll do simple stuff, but he does illustrations and. He's good, man. He could do just about anything. I've been pretty impressed with just about anything I've
and
seen.
And like you said too, you really don't have that. How many do you have live again?
I only got 2,500 live, something like that. Maybe a little bit over 2,500, but
and he's pushing numbers like that, guys. So that says something right there. So it does. Like quality work is it's the way to go. But at first. We like the struggle part of understanding it and getting to learn the business. It's like my most favorite part. I love it because when people they struggle and then they don't give up and they keep on going and going and going and all of a sudden they see success like Joseph has. That's inspiring. Right? So much respect for that right there. So that's pretty cool.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. If any of you guys have any questions, now's the time to kind of get them in the comments. We'll do some little bit of Q&A. You can ask me or Matt questions, Joseph questions. Let's get that going.
Get this cracking. So Joseph, if like say this isn't Q4, what's your normal strategy when you go to launch a shirt, right? Like when you put a shirt up.
If this wasn't Q4, you're saying?
Yeah.
So generally, so like if I've already done the research and stuff like that. I mean, so real quick and just starting with the research. What I've been doing a lot more that I hadn't really done early on was focusing on like it's crazy like small niches, hobbies, games. Like before, I would go and look at like bigger, like let's say basketball or football, and I still do well in those niches, but now I'm looking at like just crazy like little small. I'm trying to think of an example of something like okay, I'll give you one. Like I didn't even know what it was until recently, but there's a game called Cornhole. You know what Cornhole? Like little games like that, niches like that. Like I've found stuff like that have consistent sales, and they're not necessarily, they're not saturated. So anymore, I've been looking where before I was looking big. Now I'm looking for smaller niches, and going into those. But basically, like for that niche, when I found it, I just made a bunch of custom stuff. So like you go and see what's out there, and then I'll just come up with my own. So I have, you have the niche, and then I'll come up with my own little phrases or however the case may be. And then basically what I'll do is I'll throw a handful out there, 3, 4, 5. And then like I said earlier, I'll start them at $12.87, which is the base price. And if I get traction, then I'll add more. So like I'll kind of like throwing a few lines into the water, get traction. I will come back to it. So that's what I'm doing every day. I'm kind of just looking for a few different things, putting some stuff out there. Keep doing that, and then as the days, weeks progress, as I'm getting sales, then I'll double back and say, all right, these two niches, I've had some shirts up for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever the case may be. And sales are starting to come in. So boom, I'll throw another 10, 20 in and then try to fatten them up as I'm going and then just keep building out. And so I'm trying to be in as many as possible. But that's pretty much it. Like I said, I start everything at $12.87. And then depending on demand, sometimes I'll raise it by $1. I don't really have any set, like this is what I do every time. It's just kind of like, you know, sometimes I might raise it by $1. Other times I might literally, if it's like I have, for instance, I have one shirt that's it's in a niche that has 10,000 results. And this year, I let it go at $12.87 for about probably like 10, 15 sales. Like I just gave it away. Eventually I got it to the front page. And now that thing, I eventually raised the price, and that thing sells daily. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's one word on a shirt. So,
right. What do you do for keywords?
For keywords, I would say over time, there's been an evolution there as well. A big thing, like everybody mentions the Amazon search drop down. I'll use that quite a bit. I use that like for my title. So for instance, like let's go back to cornhole. So like if you were just to type cornhole into the search bar, you're going to get a bunch of stuff, you know, it may say cornhole shirts for men, whatever the case may be. So I'll tie that in. I'll tie like a long tail keyword into my title, and then I may add something else. It may be vintage. You know, I may vintage it out, distress it, whatever the case. It may be funny. It may be so you know, I might throw that keyword in there. But keeping it real simple for the most part, like just describing what it is. So I'm using that a lot. I don't really use a whole lot of aftermarket you know, tools or anything like that. Occasionally I may pull up Merch Informer, but for the most part, you know, it's either I'm just describing it with my brain, you know, with what I got, or simply just going into the niche in Amazon and seeing what other successful shirts have, you know, what they're using, and just plucking a few out of there. So I really I don't know. I don't spend a whole lot of time on it. Like it's just
once you get it, you get it.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. 100%.
But the understanding the keywords is one of the most important things. Like once you understand it, that's what I just tell people too. Like me and Matt go over this all the time. Once you understand it, you got it. But then, like, well, of course, with me, like I had to go back and watch one of my own videos because I lost it. You know what I mean? I was like, dude, what am I doing? Like, I'm not even doing this correctly. And you lose yourself sometimes because you're just, I don't know. But
right.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your what product do you upload to the most? And another thing too, guys, we're asking these questions because we're trying to help you out, and there's a reason why we ask these questions, because we want you guys to understand, like for you guys like in the lower tiers, like you guys first time watching this video or first time catching us live, we want you to understand like these questions are going to help you out, so that's why we ask them. So what product do you upload to the most?
So definitely standard shirts. Every time everything goes on standard. Being that we're in winter now, I pretty much every time, I know a lot of people wait till they get a sale, but for me, I've been doing standard and pretty much sweatshirts. I'll do standard in a sweatshirt every time. I won't do hoodie every time because there's that additional step to resize. So, but I will do shirt and sweatshirt, and I've actually had crazy success with sweatshirts, like more success than I was anticipating. So
you hear that, Neil? Sweatshirts sell.
Sweatshirt sell, man. I don't know.
I think that was all part of selfish Neil's master plan to keep us out of that sweatshirt niche.
Right. Dominating it.
I have a sweatshirt right now too. That's just I'm making an $8 royalty every time it sells. Like it just out of nowhere. I was like, dude, I uploaded to a sweatshirt and then it's making a sell. I was probably like only have like 10 sweatshirts live, and one of them is making a sell.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like so say certain niches that may be saturated, right? In t-shirts, so there may be a lot of demand for, say, like a certain type of let's just use Christmas for example. There may be demand for, like, you know, a specific thing within Christmas, and while the t-shirts may have 2,000, 3,000 results, you could actually get in on the sweatshirt. There may only be 100, 200. So a lot of times I'll throw a design on a shirt and a sweatshirt, and I mean, I'm telling you, a lot of times I'll make sales on the sweatshirt before I ever even make a sale on the t-shirt. Like it's pretty crazy. Like I wish I would have, like it took me. I didn't actually start uploading sweatshirts till you know, like right around October or something. And I know it's probably going to die off going into you know, after winter's over. But next year I'm going to definitely.
Yeah, they don't really start selling until it gets cold, and then they die off. They don't sell a whole lot during the year, but it's a nice royalty bump in you know, November, December. It's really nice. Neil wants to know, are you doing Etsy, and if so, or if not, why?
Etsy. So I have an Etsy store. I actually haven't been able to give it the time that it needs. It's literally number one on the to-do list. So going top of 2019, that'll be definitely something I'm going to focus on. I had planned to do it in December. I was expecting a freeze, and I was just going to go crazy with Etsy in December, but I've just stayed uploading on merch. So yeah, the store that I have now, it doesn't have very many listings. I have less than 50 listings. I make sales over there. But again, just haven't been able to give it the time, but that's next on my list. That's the next stream I want to add. So merch, literally, I just wanted to build this first stream, get it to a level that I was comfortable with. And, Etsy is definitely stream number 2 that I'll be working on. So yeah, 100%.
Nice. Are you using AMS?
AMS, I am using AMS. I actually just shut off like 90% of the stuff that I had that was I had a lot of stuff going for, I'd actually had a lot of Christmas shirts that were doing well. But I am using AMS. The bulk of it was for Christmas stuff, which I just shut off. So then I have a handful of other shirts that kind of go out beyond Christmas into the top of the new year. So yeah, no, it's my second go around. The first go around a few months ago, I did horrible, but this more recent opportunity, it's been good. I did pretty well with it. So
nice.
Yeah. Good job. Okay, so apart from so here's a question for all of us. Apart from Amazon, what is our favorite place to do our research at? Matt, you wanna hit that one first?
Mine's definitely been Etsy lately. I'm just really enjoying like getting on Etsy and seeing some different stuff, and especially seeing stuff on different apparel items that's like not on a t-shirt, and going like, okay, well, I can see how that can work for something here, or getting ideas in terms of because on Etsy you can like bundle things, right? So you can make shirts for the entire family. You can't do that on merch, but you can still sell the same concept, just put everything in the same brand. You know what I mean? So like stuff like that. Etsy's definitely been my favorite lately.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Joseph.
I would say outside of Amazon, probably a split between Etsy and I'll use Google. I'll use Google quite a bit, even Google Trends. But if we're looking just at specific designs, I would say Etsy. What's the other one that I look at sometimes too? I guess Redbubble a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there's this other one. I don't even know if I have it up, but I think is it called? I don't have it up. There's another site that I just found that had like trending shirts, something to do with Jeep. I don't remember what it was. What the heck was it? Let me see if I have it up. Yeah, I don't have it up, but it's weird. It had like Jeep in the tjeep.shop, something like that. I just stumbled upon it and it had a couple ideas. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, Etsy, and then like I'll even just throw a keyword into Google and see what pops up. So.
All right, cool. My place is, I like to do a mixture. I like doing stuff on Etsy. I've been doing a lot of research on Etsy recently, and I've been seeing success with it, believe it or not. If you guys have, I think it's over 60 or 30 customers that visit your store. I mentioned this before, and I don't think a lot of people have followed it, but you can see what other people search for on Etsy. Etsy will give you that little option, and it will show you what other niches they're searching for. So with that's like probably like one of the biggest things right there that people don't understand. I'm pretty sure Matt will make a video soon on it, and then you know what I'm talking about, Matt?
I know exactly. I use it all the time.
I made a video.
Like it's like the information. If you have an Etsy store, one of the most important things you should do is really get into the stats section, and especially now that you have analytics, but get into the stats section and start looking in that and digging deep into it and seeing other search terms your customers have used. Because it's free information. It's literally telling you customers are looking for this, especially because there are like a lot of good long tails in there. So when you see that long tail, it's like literally, it's like somebody bought this. Like they put that term in there because they were going to buy something. I need to design around that.
Right. Yep. No, I've used that too. That's some of the best stuff right there.
I did that like about 2 days ago, and I just already got a custom order just by doing that.
That's dope.
And it's the power of it right there. So I mentioned it in a few videos. I know a few 7-figure sellers that actually just use Etsy just for research. That's it. Let's see. Next question. My mouse works. Quantity versus quantity on Etsy.
Shit. Thought I turned that off. My bad,
guys. You're all good. You're still there. All matters.
What? Quality versus quantity on Etsy?
Both.
There we go.
Like you need quality, but you need to have enough numbers up there that people are going to be able to like find your stuff. Etsy gives, like, it's anecdotal, but I've heard it enough, and I've seen it now. We have 4 shops on Etsy in different niches, and once you reach above a certain number of designs, Etsy starts showing your stuff a lot more often, because Etsy's like, okay, well, this is actually a real business. It's a real shop. I'm gonna like put their stuff out there, especially when it starts to do well. That's the thing. If your shop does well, like if the items in your shop do well all the way across the board, Etsy likes that. They'll show your stuff more often.
Yeah. Sure. Oh,
which one's better, Etsy or Amazon? It's easy. It's easy.
Yeah. Well, the customer basically building a brand. So on Etsy, Etsy's one of course, like like I think it's better because you can do so much more. It gives you so much information. It seems like Etsy wants you to win. It wants you to bring them business. Merch by Amazon is stingy. They don't want you to have the emails. There's a reason for that.
No, I mean, I disagree. Like, I actually think for most people, Amazon is better. It's easier to win on Amazon. Like, it is. Amazon is like e-commerce for babies, kind of. Like, it's something where you just have to get a couple of things right, and their traffic will take care of you. Whereas Etsy, like, you need to understand a lot of different nuances to be able to do well. Like, you have to understand the research, you have to understand your market, you have to understand customer service. You got to make sure that your branding on your shop is on point. You have to make sure all of your items look really, really good. Your pricing is down. You have to understand promoted listings. Like, there's a lot of different pieces that have to work. If you're just starting out, like, merch all the way.
Back in my day, when I would upload 10 designs, I would make sales on Merch by Amazon.
Etsy's a lot of fucking work, man. Everybody's like, which one's better or which one's easier, right? Like, dude, I'm just telling you right now, all day, like, merch is, while it's got its own challenges, merch is a lot easier than Etsy to find success, to make the same amount of money.
Yeah, that's another thing though too that we kind of show you guys too, is like me and Matt, like, we want you guys to go on to Merch by Amazon to kind of get an understanding and then leverage that. And this is what we're gonna go into 2019 and show you guys, like, leveraging Merch by Amazon to build other businesses, like, and to build that brand and to scale to the next level.
Etsy is like, literally, Etsy is like e-commerce with training wheels, right? Like, it's e-commerce, so you have to do a lot of the stuff that you don't do on merch, but it still kind of helps you along because there's organic search. And then Shopify is like, that's e-commerce. Like, everything is on you with Shopify. And that's the plan, is we're going to take you through getting started on Etsy, finding success on Etsy, and how you leverage that success on Etsy and that success on Merch by Amazon to build a brand and take that brand and build it on top of Shopify.
Mm-hmm. That's going to get scary right there.
Not scary if you do it right.
Yeah, nah.
It's exciting.
For most people, when it comes to that right there, you guys are gonna get very, very, like, you're
just gonna be like that,
overwhelmed for sure.
The first time you put up that budget on Facebook ads and it's $500 a day, you're just gonna be.
Nah, that's scary because you got to watch it, because there's some day. Remember another thing too, that there's off days with Merch by Amazon. There's off days on e-commerce in general.
Yeah,
like, people don't want to buy on certain days because they don't have the money, or like you see the sales increase on the first of the month because everybody has money. You'll see the January sales be kind of up there the first week because
people have gift cards, they have money they want to spend.
Gift cards, and then there's tax season, stuff like that. So you guys got to understand, like, some days suck. Some days are really good. So
that's true. Do you have any other questions for Joseph, guys, or for me and RJ? Like, we're open to go through whatever you guys want to go through.
Someone said cute shirt, Matt.
I saw that.
It's my Target. It's my Target shirt right there. It's one of my favorite Target shirts. Okay. Yeah. So what do you recommend, Joseph? For people in the lower tiers, what's your best advice for them?
Let's see, for the lower tiers. I mean, I feel like the lower tiers is all about learning. So like, I mean, honestly, the biggest thing is just testing. Testing price, testing keywords. Like I can tell you for sure, I've a lot of times, and I don't do this a whole lot anymore, but early on, I mean, I guess I still do it a little bit. Like I'll throw a design out there, I'll throw it up twice or whatever,
Yeah.
With different keywords. And so like I can think of one shirt just off the top of my brain that there's this one shirt that I have that's like probably one of my top 5-6 sellers. I have it up, I have it listed twice. On one listing, it has yet to sell. Like it's never made a sale. The other one, it's sold hundreds of times for sure. So, and the only difference is they have different keywords in the title. So, I would suggest, doing stuff like that, split testing price, split testing keywords. The biggest thing is just getting through the process. There's not a whole lot. I mean, we could answer questions and we could give you our experience, but a lot of it is just jumping into the deep end and learning how to swim type thing. So
100%.
you just gotta do it. You just got to try it, and that's going to be the best way to learn just about any of it. So
yeah, for sure.
Quick question,
so,
real fast. You see
somebody lobbed some euros our way for the question: how do you create bundles for Etsy using Printful?
So with that right there, guys, you're gonna have to do it manually. And then when you get that, let's say if you get a sale or something like that, go in over. So when you get that sale, it's gonna go through on a Printful, and then you would have to do a manual. Like you have to do everything manually that way. So get the order first,
sync it so it doesn't go through.
On
Printful's back end, and then create your listing on Etsy, and then when the order comes in, you have to place a manual order for it.
Yeah, for sure. That's another thing too. So what Joseph just said, I think that's very important to learning a lot of learning anything. Just jump in and just know that you can do it, because I suck at a lot of things, and I just jumped in here and just started learning how to do it. And I don't even design, and I'm still putting up big numbers. You know what I mean? But I understand the whole concept of a design. Sometimes I do, but I still do it though. So that's a good example. So you just jump in, do it, learn it, and then if you can learn how to design, it's going to save you money, of course. But another reason I outsource is so I can actually just put out content for you guys and help us all win together. So
yeah, don't be afraid to fail. That's the biggest thing. You're going to learn. So you're going to stumble, but then you're going to learn what not to do the next time or what to do better. So that's another thing. Just, don't be afraid to fail. Take action. The biggest thing is just to take action, because you take action enough and you're consistent with just trying, just doing something. You keep doing it, you're gonna get it. You know what I mean? You're gonna get it eventually. So
yeah.
So there's a saying that I really like. It actually comes from fitness. It's from Gary Vee's old trainer, Mike Vacanti, and he's actually got shirts that say this, that consistency over perfection, right? So when you're working out, right, and you want to lose weight, it's not about being perfect on your diet. It's about being consistent. Make sure that you're making good decisions more often than not, right? That's that's life advice right there. You want to really improve your life. Consistency over perfection. Don't beat yourself up if you fuck up. Just get back to work and start working on it again, and just keep doing it and keep grinding and everything else. I mean, you consistently upload 10 shirts a day, 365 days out of the year. That's 3,600 shirts you've uploaded by the end of the year.
Yeah,
that's 10 shirts. It's it's not that much work, right? People get overwhelmed by the big number, and they need to start thinking more about just doing a small set amount of work every single week, and you'll have magic happen.
Yeah. Completely agree.
Tacos and pizza money.
Rambo money.
That's tequila money for RJ.
Yeah, dude. I've been
RJ's out doing karaoke tonight, guaranteed, with Pops.
Yeah, right. Pops doing his own karaoke by himself. He killing it, man. He go up there and take over the mic. By the time I get there, he probably sing already 5 times. I'm like, Pops, he ain't never singing in front of these people. He's not.
I made the bad decision to make plans in LA tonight, so we're headed out to LA after this. So that's gonna be fun on Friday.
I think right here with this episode right here, this is going to be like one of the best ones, because literally like we seen Joseph when his account was like only like two shirts a day, one shirt a day, 0 sales a day, and now he's up there with us putting up numbers like that. So that's kind of like a big inspiration to see how he took, remember, from, was it 0 to 1,000 on the phone?
Yeah. Let's bookend this episode with some tips for new sellers, right? Because we're going to start the new year off real soon. Like, fourth quarter's only got a couple more days left in it. If you were starting out brand new on the platform right now, Joseph, what would you do?
If I was starting right now, I mean, I think a couple things. I mean, they may seem obvious, but like first and foremost, I would make sure that I read and thoroughly understood the terms of service first and foremost. I mean, that's step one. You know what I'm saying? Before I ever even uploaded a design, I'd also, make sure I had a good grasp of trademarks, copyrights, and then just a few things. Like, I think one of the main things is like, you're going to do research on Amazon, you're going to do research wherever the case may be. But you don't want to necessarily go and see stuff and think that you can do it. So, because I think a lot of people obviously will see 1,000 Christmas vacation shirts or something, think they could do those. So I think just having a grasp of what's allowed, what's not allowed. That's like literally step one before you even upload. So then once you have that, once you're comfortable with that portion, and then you're ready to move on and actually design, I would say step one is, just learning the processes. So like, you have your research process, and then, it's designs and keywords. That's literally what it is: designs and keywords and demand. So you kind of want to master all three of those. And like, for me, it was literally just, like I said, you just got to do it. You got to jump into the deep end. You have to do it every day. Like you got to do all three of those every day, and eventually they'll start to click, and eventually you'll learn where the demand is. Your designs may not be on point, so then eventually, one thing I will say is to figure out what you're good at. So some people, like, you may be able to do the designs yourself, but if you're not good at them and you have the money to outsource. If you're good at designs, but you're not good at the research part of it, then that's an area to work on. But I don't know. I would just say that it's just the process is the main thing, and just not giving up initially. I think a lot of people throw 5 designs up and sit back and expect sales to come in.
Yeah.
And like, that's probably the biggest thing for somebody that just gets an account. And the hardest part is to just work through that. So you throw that up, no success comes in, and then it's, what are you going to do there? You're going to give up, or are you going to keep going and figure it out? So you really just got to figure it out. You got to keep going every day and get through it, and eventually you'll get it if you want it bad enough.
Right. If you were starting out today, so I know you kind of hustled and hacked things because you had an Android phone, so you didn't have the over app. You didn't have that option. Do you think you would start on Merchant Former right away, like the baby plan, so you can use the designer? I know you've used that more than I have.
I didn't even mention that. Yeah, 100%. So right now I have Illustrator. I've been learning Illustrator for almost a year now. So but more times than not, like 90% of the time, I've just been using Merchant Former Designer. So yeah, 100%. I would suggest, if I was starting out right now, I'd get Merchant Former and do all my designs on the designer portion of the software. It's super intuitive, super simple and easy to use, and it has it has everything you need to do to get up and running. Like, pretty much, let me think here. I would say 95% of the shirts I've sold in the past week, that we did the 7 days earlier, 95% of them have been made on Merchant Former Designer. So
nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I would use that in terms of actually doing the designs. You don't necessarily have to even be a designer to be able to crank even just text-based designs out. So yeah.
Right. RJ, you on that merch designer?
I messed with it when it first came out. I messed with it a little bit. I made a sale with I think it was like the bee niche, the honeybee niche.
Oh yeah, good.
I made one. I think it said I don't know what it said, but it made
Did you make a boobies shirt?
No, I did I forgot what it was. It's like I'm the queen bee or something like that, or stay with or something like that. I don't know. Stay with my bee or something like that. I don't know.
I've been using Photoshop for so long, like that's what I use. Like I can't use Illustrator. It's like a foreign language to me, but I can do stuff in Photoshop. My wife's the designer. I play around, or I'll get an idea, and I'll make something. But I think the merch designer and then that $9.99 plan for Merch Informer,
it's a no-brainer.
Like it's a no-brainer. Like there's so many tools that are going to help you to have success right off the bat. You know, and then the other part of it too, and this is something that Joseph really embraced right at the beginning, was like dive deep into all of the free content that's out there. There's so much free content where there's so much information to help you to understand like what you should be looking for. Like just dive into that. And then in the Facebook groups too, right? Like don't just ask questions, like get in there and help. Because you know why Joseph stood out immediately, like why he made connections with us? Because Joseph from the very beginning was like in the groups, helping out, answering questions, helping people with problems, explaining things, asking really smart questions, not asking questions that were going to pop up in the search bar. Like that's how you want to make a relationship. You want to network with somebody that is like tiers above you, like provide value, help them out.
Yeah, that's a really big thing, is just helping everybody out in the community, and yeah, it's fun too. Just learning, because if you guys notice too, the way me and Matt got to where we're at now is just by helping people, like helping people understand the platform, helping them grow. And now,
you know how often like somebody reaches out to me or RJ and there's like, hey, I just want to help you out a little bit. Like I want to pay back some of this because you guys have helped us, and they give us ideas, they give us things, right? Like that's the value of community. That's the value of, you know, being a positive force in the Facebook group and really helping people out.
Yeah, yep, for sure.
Just be cool.
Now be a human being. Be a human being. That's an entrepreneur. Be a fucking human being. That's it. Be nice. Yeah. Be kindness, man. So take you a long way for sure. And a lot of people were like, we're getting a lot of hate. Like, I don't see how people put down others and stuff like that. And
RJ, you just keep leading cults, man. That's what happens.
No, like I someone told me the other day that someone was putting me down. She's a Mexican woman, and she goes to church, and she's like, I don't like that guy RJ because he's messing up merch by Amazon and doing this and doing that, and she's like a Christian lady and goes to church and just putting me down. Why? Nah, but yeah, I don't know. This right here is going to be one of the best shows that we had in 2018 for sure.
Yeah, I love what Amy said right here. He surrounded himself with people who were where he wanted to be, because it's such a good hack in life, right? Mm-hmm. Surround yourself with the people that like are leading the lives that you want to lead, that behave the way that you want to behave, like are positive forces in your life. Like me and RJ have been bouncing this content back and forth on Instagram to each other. Like anytime I see something like that, I'll send it to him or he'll send it to me, right? Like you just want to have those people in your life, because it's a life hack, man. Like it totally will change your life when you remove like the negativity, you remove the negative influences, you remove people that like just want to settle for something that you don't want, that just want to stay home, get drunk, whatever. Like remove that stuff and it will change your life.
Yeah. And another thing too is like a lot of people that I know, they still think it's a scam, and I'm making more money than the people like that I know, and they think it's a scam, and I'm just like, dude, how's he I'm making more money than you, and I'm just like, I'm chilling, like I'm not chilling, but I'm like, striving for more, like I want more. So I don't know. It's something to think about, and we'll keep on growing. 100%. Keep on growing.
Thank you guys. A little bit of a change up having here on Friday, but I think we got some people that were not able to normally catch the live come on with us, so that's really cool. If you guys have any other questions, drop them in the comments down below. And if you haven't subscribed to RJ's channel already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notified whenever we go live, so that way you don't miss one of these lives. And Joseph, I'm going to kick his ass next year if he doesn't start putting out videos, because I sent him the mic that I used to use because I thought it was not working right. But I sent him it because it was like I wanted him to make videos because he's super smart and he knows this stuff. And he's got a personality, he's got a voice, and he's important in the community. He needs to make some videos. So everyone needs to join in with me next year. If Joseph doesn't have a YouTube channel out there, like just start talking trash to him constantly in the groups.
Yeah.
I'm on it. And I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the love. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it going. So
yeah.
You heard it here first.
Also, too, guys, we have the research down below too as well. If you guys haven't purchased that yet, and if you guys have, thank you, appreciate that. And you have any questions on that, just go ahead and feel free to message me or Matt. And that's gonna be it for the night. Thank you.
Next week we're going to have a couple of guests. One of them is going to be Anthony Basiglio, and I think we're going to try and get the Merch Fairy on here to close out the year.
That'd be dope.
Yeah. So, Joseph, appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on.
Word up. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Sure, brother.
And everyone that watched tonight, appreciate it. You guys have a good night, good weekend. Be safe out there.
Later.
Peace.
Peace, man.